Dungeons and Dragons.
And junk drawer. Hey everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Missed you.
How are you?
How was your Valentine's Day?
Oh, that was the thing that happened. I forgot.
Yeah.
So,
End of story.
That was a quick
guys?
story.
Yeah.
We are back with Dungeons and Dragons and Junk Drawer, and I'll get it right one of these times. Episode 12. I know that because Josh literally said it before we started.
Gang gang.
I would not have remembered had he not said it. But before we get into our recap and our game, I'm going to throw it first to Thok Supreme. Got anything you'd like to shout out, sir?
Sure. I'll go ahead and I'll shout out to Random Encounter Productions. It's the other stream that I do on Monday nights. We just started our second campaign, so that's fun. It's in a brand new continent, a little bit of a fast forward in time, not too different from us. But I think their skip forward was like a 20-year time jump, not something incredibly crazy. Yeah, you can go ahead and check them out. They stream every night except weekends if I'm not mistaken. No, I think they stream every night. I'm there on Mondays, but and potentially Wednesdays is their sci-fi sci-fi game. And you can check them out at Random Encounter Productions on Instagram, YouTube, and on Twitch. They are at Random Encounter Prod, Prod. So yeah, they're gonna be hosting us soon. So I'm super excited. Just trying to finalize all that jazz.
Woot woot.
Woo.
Justin, you got anything?
Oh, hey. Yeah, what's up? So yeah, I wanted to shout out for, if we get to it, our wonderful maps, all made by the very wonderful David Hemingway, which you can follow on Twitter, and I urge you very much so to do so and tell him that we sent you, because building relationships in the community is super important. Also, Top Tabling, my other channel, Twitch channel. Currently, nothing this week. We're on a little bit of a breaky poo, but next week, we're going full force with the poo instead of having a breaky one.
Yum.
Is that good?
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Okay.
Anybody else got stuff?
Yeah. Make sure to give us a follow on Instagram at the Drunk Drawer Show, and subscribe as well to our YouTube channel where we put up these episodes every Thursday. So if you don't get a chance to watch it live, you can watch it on YouTube 2 days later, because we want you to view all of our content.
Yeah. And you done, Mike?
Yeah, no, that's it.
Cool. Well, my mom is watching tonight, and Donovan should be watching. So, hey, Mom. Love you. Hey, Donovan. Fuck you.
Love you, Mom.
Hi, Josh's mom. Sorry for
I
how
also
much I'm
love
going
you.
to say the word fuck.
He's not that sorry.
I'm not. I hope you're
He's not
doing
that
well.
sorry.
I do hope you're doing well as well.
So, last week on episode 11, it opened with Thok having a very serious, very foreboding conversation with a new friend he has. Friend is in air quotes. I just didn't feel like doing it. They're not
Manu.
actually friends.
No. More
Jeremy.
acquaintances.
Yeah, he wants your soul or something. So that was another discussion in the dreams. He did also say to Thok that he might give him a break from the dreams for a little bit. So that's interesting. Curious to see what happens there. Moving through the forest, everybody was kind of looking for their own things. Donner had gotten a strong smell of lilac earlier in the episode and was kind of looking for lilacs because it's a scent that triggers something in him. We also have Alder looking for holly berries, not Halle Berry. Those are two different things, but maybe. And of course, Donner was talking about his inability to be missed by any form of attack because he's squishy. And a fight broke loose between him and Thok. And before it finished, Donner's brain got a little mushy. Something happened, and he didn't like it. So DM whenever you're ready.
Yeah, no, that was great. We out here.
Squishy
So,
brain.
we'll. I believe we closed on the end of the fight. Is that correct? If I remember correctly.
Did we go to sleep that night?
I think you guys started to
I think-
wind down.
Yeah.
Okay, as we closed on our official first day of travel. So the night is fairly quiet. You do your equivalent watches, I'm assuming, with Alder sleeping first and then finishing the watches as he is accustomed to do so. And it's fairly early in the morning as you all kind of start to rise. You go through your morning routines and you're starting to pick up camp and move through the forest. So tell me, guys, how we starting this day out?
Well,
Since everyone was fucked from the last time.
I think Alder and I were fine, but I'm gonna use the morning to go scrounge around for some more mushrooms, berries, whatever I can find. Try to make a
Okay.
nice little breakfast before we head out for the day.
Okay, go ahead and roll a sweet survival nature check for me. See if you can find anything that's edible and not poop your pants. Terrible.
Which one? Survival or nature?
Nature.
That is a 9.
Okay. It takes you a little bit, but you're able to forage a little bit of vegetation and some fruit. But once again, I don't know if you fully know what Alder eats. So I would say half of it is also just garbage of pine needles, bark, and twigs.
All right. Hey, Alder, I got you some food.
Thanks. Did already have some stuff over here, but sure. No, appreciate it.
And I just plop it down into his food pile that I assume is there.
Okay.
Oh,
And-
okay.
It's more of the same, Alder, where it's you're not sure if Dremel is fucking with you or he's legitimately trying his best to be accommodating, but you're kind of sitting crisscrossed. You have Aya kind of by your shoulder and meditating and focusing on the wilds, and then just at your feet, you just hear the bump of just more pine cones and pine needles and bark.
And then I just kind of like under my breath, I'm being like over towards Aya. I'm like, when did everyone just assume I started eating trees?
And she kind of looks at you and looks back at the pile, and you just hear. "Arr."
And then I'll kind of just like reach into my bag and grab another apple out and take a bite out of it, and then rip a little piece off and hand it over to her.
Okay, and she reciprocates as you guys kind of sit and eat. And Drummel, I have no idea what Drummels do after they get breakfast.
Stand there smiling, hoping that he'll offer me some of the apple.
I rip off
So-
another little piece of the apple and hold it towards his mouth too.
Oh man, you shouldn't have. Thank you so much. And I bite into it and walk away.
And it's once again, it's a very good apple. What are my two sleepy babies doing?
I wake up.
You do? No.
I'm like, do I wake up? Do I die in my sleep?
No. You die in your sleep. No. You actually have, outside of the prison, you have a full night's sleep of, you don't dream, but you distinctly remember putting your head to the bed pillow, and you can now distinctly remember waking up and hearing the rustling and the conversation of outside of Alder and Drummel kind of having their breakfast interaction as you had a very restful night's sleep. No drums, no sand, just rest.
All right. I guess I'll join the rest for breakfast.
Okay. And so the two of you kind of see Thok. You see a well rested Thok. He is a little bit banged up from the fight, but it seems that his mind or whatever usually troubles Thok is at ease, as he kind of has this very content. I wouldn't say almost a smile, but I would say a content look upon his face.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, big guy.
You look like you slept well.
Oh, like the dead.
The dead don't sleep. Yeah, like the dead, man. I just go back to eating the apple, which I'm eating weirdly slow. Kind of like nibbling like a little squirrel.
Okay, so you're just eating it like.
Yeah, well, I'm not
Tiny hands.
hunched over like a squirrel. I'm just eating little tiny bites like a little squirrel.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, that's
Are
different.
You savoring? Are
Yeah,
you
I'm savoring
it.
My friend Alder gave it to me. I'm gonna savor this gift.
Jesus. Okay. So while everyone is savoring their apple, Donner, what you doing there, bud?
So I just kind of laying a little restless. It was not a solid night's sleep for me. In and out, thinking about a bunch of different things, stuff that Kitra said, and trying to figure out what was up with Thok at the end of that fight. So, and then of course the ever-present smell of lilac in my brain. Just little restless, little wiry, and yeah, not fully rested, just kind of laying there thinking.
Okay. So going in and out of the sleep, you eventually morning and dusk or dawn starts to rise as the outside of your tent, the deep dark sky starts to be lit and painted with these different oranges and reds as you slowly hear, Drummel and Alder talking, and eventually Thok ends up joining them. And it's like you said, you had a very restless sleep, and your body aches a little bit from it. I wouldn't say that you're exhausted, but you're definitely not all present. And then eventually, I would assume you kind of dress and you start to make your way out to the camp.
I'd start breaking down the tent before I went out, just to be ready to keep moving forward.
Okay. So the three of you, as you're all kind of convening, you start hearing the construction and the poles starting to unplace themselves as Donner is breaking down his tent and his camp.
You need help over there?
Oh no, I've got it. I
You sure?
appreciate. Yeah, I'm fine. I just ready to kind of move forward, and yeah, I just want to get out of here.
You want to get my tent while you're at it?
No, I don't.
Please?
No,
I have this berry.
it's lovely.
Yeah, I want to do it myself anyway. You probably
That's
wouldn't
good.
do it right.
Probably not.
Do you want to eat first though? Like,
I mean, unless we're dining on some fine delicacy, I'm pretty sure I can walk and eat. Just want to get on the road, This place has got me a little, I guess, in my head, and I'd like to try and get forward and towards some civilization as quickly as we can.
all right.
And as you state this, you kind of see at Alder's feet is just more brush and pine cones and pine needles and branches, as you state. unless you're dining on some kind of delicacy, as Alder is eating an apple.
Did you burn the tree too? Is that the second half of your meal?
Just pack your shit up.
Pack your shit up.
I'm already packed.
No, your breakfast is right in front of you.
You just
Okay. This is cutting a little bit up for me, so I'm not catching everything. Okay. So after a few moments of breakfast and eating, you're all able to break down your camp and you start moving out. It's like I said, it's about a week or two's travel. So what we'll do is, because I love travel so much, give me some goals of what we want to do during this travel.
2 weeks.
Roughly 2 weeks. I'll give you a week and a half.
see what I will probably be doing is, obviously I want to just examine any kind of, creatures that I find. I just want to know what wild animals I see, what's kind of in the habitat, and then obviously any kind of food that I could pick up along the way that I can turn into something edible that's not a pine cone. I'll be searching for as well.
Okay, so I'll give you a series of rolls. Why don't you give me 2 investigation rolls and 2 survival checks.
Okay, investigation. It's not good. That's the wrong dice. All right, good start. We're out here today. I rolled an 11 and a 12 on investigation, and then on survival, is a 12 and a modded 20.
Okay. So for the investigation, as far as searching for specific kinds of foliage, food, anything in the regards of things that you're familiar with, animals, you see the basic kind of things. You see a lot of chipmunks, squirrels, as I've stated, different avians. I would say a few robins. Nothing substantial or out of the ordinary for this region. As far as food sources go, you find at least enough material and enough food to keep everyone sustained and alive as you guys are able to trek through this journey. It's not the best tasting food. And obviously there's no meat for it, but it's mostly different kinds of edible barks, leaves, and foliage.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move down the line. Thok, what are we doing for 2 weeks?
I would periodically check in with Sue, like where she is, how she's doing, how's the crew. Ultimately, just because obviously, like, we still don't know where I am, but I've kind of given them a destination, so I would check in on them.
Okay. I'll say during the course of your travel, for the next week and a half, 2 weeks, once again, relatively quiet. It's more of the same of head to pillow, head rising from the pillow as the sun starts to rise. I wouldn't say it's peaceful sleep because it's, you're not dreaming. You're not in a comfortable environment, but it's a sound sleep that you've been able to have for the past few weeks. As far as the information that you're able to get from Sue, it's more of the same of they're heading towards the port that you agreed upon, basically giving you updates on the crew, how they're able to get a few different things as far as work to try to get some coin for different resources. It is a fairly long trek to meet at that port. So just updates on how the crew is and how the status of the ship is and what the current economy of the ship is.
Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to do was, you kind of answered it for me then.
Okay.
The sleep, it was like whether or not I get visited again. But if not, I'm not complaining about it.
No.
So-
Like I said, it's fairly quiet. There are a few nights where you're uneasy that perhaps something during the evening may have spooked you, a certain thing of a certain ambiance or some kind of white noise that might have kind of turned you off as far as comfort. But everything has been fairly calm. But you've been in this situation before. I mean, previously to the past year, the dreams came every 2 months, or it always came in a different pattern. And this is a completely different pattern. You don't know when they're coming.
Okay.
So I would say it's a sense of unease, but like I said, it's solid sleep.
Okay.
Okay, Dremel.
All right. The first thing that I'm going to be doing is trying to nail down exactly what Alder eats. So I will be talking to, is it Aya or Arya?
Yeah.
Aya. So I'll be using my communicate with Beast and Leaf to talk to Arya, progressively trying to get her to lead me to something that he might actually enjoy eating.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first. Do you want me to go through all of them?
Yes. So the first one is that's a spell, obviously. So at one point during, I would say maybe the fourth or fifth morning of you waking up, bringing all this shit, and Alder looking less than pleased, you decide to cast a spell on his avian companion. As you kind of cast this, Aya's head kind of cocks as she makes eye contact with you, as Alder seems to be deep in meditation.
As a reminder, I can only talk to her. She cannot respond. Okay.
Gotcha.
Arya. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I know I'm not bringing the right food. I can read his face. He does not hide his face well. Can you help me pick out the right food for Alder?
And you see her, and she kind of cocks her head in confusion now that you've been able to speak Hawk. And she looks back at Alder, who's, I would say a few yards away at this point, as she was enticed by you to listen to you speaking avian. So she kind of looks around, and you see her look up in the sky, and she kind of lifts off, and you kind of see her circle for a little bit before going into the forest, and we'll see what she gets. Okay. So after several minutes, you see Aya kind of come out of the kind of the canopy of the forest as she circles and dives back down. As you see, she has different kind of sprigs of, I would say, mull and blackberries. So different kinds of berry and little fruits that you have overpassed because you're like, that's not ripe. Well, I haven't seen, someone eat that safely before. And you see that there's all these different kind of berries that she's been able to give you.
Woo, fantastic. Thank you, Arya. And I give her like a little pinky pet like they do to birds.
And you do that, and she allows you to.
Cool. Then I just, knowing that Alder's in meditation, I'm not going to attempt to disturb him. I just will lay it at his feet, I guess. I don't know if he's sitting or what. But I'll lay that at his feet and then just kind of walk away to do other things.
Okay. So, eventually, Alder, you at one point during your trip, you kind of open your eyes and you see at the bottom of your feet, you see different kinds of blackberries and mulberries, and you actually see a vine and a branch of hollyberry.
Those I'll make sure that I put in my actual pack instead of my bag that I use for carrying food. So that way I can kind of keep it separate. But throughout the trip, obviously, I'm going to talk to Aya to, find out where this is coming from, to figure out how Dremel finally started to figure out what good fucking food looks like. And at some point, I'm going to go up to Dremel and I'll be like, I appreciate you asking Aya for help, but just remember, her name's Aya, not Arya. the more you get it wrong, the more likely she is to nip at you when you try and pet her. Just letting you know.
Yeah, I said Aya.
She said you called her Aria, so just be careful. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
well, she's a bird, so what does she know?
Hey, you don't be specious, all right? I swear. Like you have any right to be, you dang old cow person.
Moo moo, motherfucker.
Thank you.
Okay. So what else are you doing, Dremel?
All right. Thing number 2 is every couple of nights I'm gonna walk by Thawk's tent to see if I like get hit in the head again.
Okay. You kind of hear the snoring and the sawing of logs of Thawk as he sleeps soundly, and every night you kind of do like a perimeter check around his tent, and you're not hit with a headache. You don't hear any drumming, any sand. It seems like whatever was around Thawk seems to be either sleeping or maybe it's not there anymore.
All right. Thing number 3 is
Okay.
while we are walking around, I will be looking for lilacs. Again, not knowing what a lilac is. So I'm looking
Okay.
for something purple.
Great. Okay, go ahead and I'll have you roll me 2 investigation checks at disadvantage.
2, like so 4 die total.
Yes, 4 die total.
Okay. First one is a 13.
Okay.
Second one is an 11.
Okay. I would say for the first week, you kind of poke and prod, I would say, at Donner. You're like, man, these lilacs outside sure are bright. Looking at bushes of just nothing. And Donner looking at you confused before moving forward. Donner, are you going to help him at any point of what a lilac is?
I would try to let him know or describe it to him in as well as I can. Kind of break it down for him so that he's just not staring at various trees and forest accoutrement and just kind of like, look at these lilacs. And I'm like, mate, those...
Yeah.
I'm not... Nope.
At one point, you're by a stream, and there are different kind of fish in the stream, and he goes, lilacs.
Those are fish.
The lilac fish. Am I moving in the right direction?
You're actually overcorrecting, and you are now so far on the other side. I'm not sure if we can save you.
Shit. I'll grab one of the fish anyway.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack to see if you could grab the fish. Unarmed strike.
15, 14.
14. Okay. Just to see if it beats you. Shit, it beats you.
Damn it.
So you kind of go inside and try to bear claw this, and it just slips right out of your hand.
Man, these lilacs are slippery, aren't they?
That's because you're also trying to catch them with your hooves.
I have hands, and I put my hands up. And I
Can
in your face.
I try and catch a fish for Dremel?
Sure. How are you going to catch the fish?
I'm gonna try and palm it as well and just see how the reflexes are.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an unarmed strike for me.
Kinked. 27.
Okay. Yeah, no, you grab it just fine. You're able to kind of, after wading into the water a little bit, and you kind of crouch and sit, and you see the long hair of Donner. Usually that's pulled back. You see strands just kind of out of place as he has his left hand up in the air as the right hand is just kind of crusting the water before the right hand actually goes in. And he pulls out this very lovely looking fish.
I'll hand it to Dremel, and I'll look at him and I'll say, "Here, this is your first lilac."
Hell yeah, brother. We're eating lilac tonight.
Don't say that. It's not. What? No, it'd be bad if you did that.
Yeah, well, if you told me what a lilac was, I wouldn't have to
told
pretend
you.
this fish is a lilac.
It's a flower.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that this is not a flower. You are correct.
Yes, I am aware. Good job. Proud of you.
Meanwhile, Alda is just downstream talking to the wildlife, and I'm just surrounded by a bunch of fish because we're just all having a conversation together. Like, he's got the one fish, and there's just a ton around me, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I got no idea what's going on. I really have no clue what these guys are doing. So I'm sorry. We'll keep you fine over here. Thank you.
And the general consensus of the fish is Greg coming back?
I'll try.
I'm gonna reach behind and just pretend to scratch my back, but in actuality, I'm gonna grab the trident of fish command that I got from Wizard Steve, and I'm gonna cast Dominate Beast on the fish that Donner has.
Okay.
And just it says it has to do a DC saving throw of 15 Wisdom.
I mean,
the
Dremel
fish?
has it now.
The
I
fish,
don't,
yeah.
I don't have it. It's Dremel.
Oh, Dremel has the fish.
Yeah.
I'll roll for fish.
Yeah. Roll for fish.
Notoriously
I'm just
smart
gonna say-
creatures.
For sake of argument, it rolled a 14. What does it do?
Perfect. I have a telepathic link to it, and it has to obey all my commands that I telepathically tell it for 1 minute.
What are you telling?
For the hell of it, I'm gonna tell it to bite Dremel's finger so it could fall back into the water with its friends.
So, Drumel, you're kind of like walking back over to the channel of the stream as this fish attempts to gum you with its mouth because it doesn't have teeth, and it just keeps gumming your palm. Go ahead and roll a dex check to see if it flops out of your hand.
14.
How much?
14.
14. It rolled a 13. So you're able to hold on to it.
So what the fuck do you want, Lilac? Stop gumming at me. I just kind of like hold it by its tail and hold it out now.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna cast speech with Beast and leave. Like, what? Use your words.
Oh shit!
But you can't hear it.
I know, but I want it to use its words. How far is Alder?
So, I don't know. Where are you, Walter?
I'm down. Like, they can see me, but I'm in the distance. I'm downstream.
Okay, I'm gonna
Alder's
walk
very
down
far
to
away
you.
from-
I'm gonna walk down the whole time. Be like, I don't know what the fuck is your problem. All I did was pull you out of the water so you could hang out with me and my friends. Well, Donner pulled you out so you could hang out with me and my friends. Am I by Alder now?
Sure, you're by Alder now.
All right.
And I heard all the things that he just said.
Yeah. Oh, I think you would have heard the end. I'm just saying the same thing over and over, just kind of annoyed. And then when I get to you, I'm gonna like hold him out like a present, and just be like, or not like a present, like facing you, so that the face is right at you. Like, what does he want?
Is he dead?
I would keep
Wants to-
splashing him in the water so he's alive.
He wants.
So-
are you gonna say what he says?
Oh no, I got you, Alder. You just hear Greg go, "Can't breathe."
I'm literally just going to try and swipe him real quick out of Dremel's hands and put him in the water.
I'm gonna dodge.
Okay.
And then I'm literally just gonna say, you fucking idiot. He can't breathe. He needs water to survive. That's why he's biting you, is you're killing him right now.
Oh shit! And I throw him in the water. Sorry, Lilac.
Okay.
His name was Greg.
Well, I called him Lilac.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll appreciate the nickname. But yeah, no, fish and other beings that dwell in the water usually can't live outside of the water. Now you know.
Huh. Well, okay. And I turn around and walk back.
Okay. What else we doing? Dremel?
Finding town.
2 more small things. I'm going to continue looking for mushrooms of the 3 varieties specified before. And I'm looking for anything.
Sorry, you're cutting out again.
I'm going to look for mushrooms of nutritional, medicinal, or fun variety. And then I'm just looking for any information on the land that I can learn. Ideally, some sort of mountains, but just trying to get my bearings.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a investigation check for the mushrooms. Do it for 3 of them so we can get nutritional, medicinal, and fun.
Recreational.
Yeah. That would be 10.
Oh.
All right. So for the first one, it's 27. Oh, he's gone. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh,
I can
okay.
hear you.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm just going to reset the roll 20 for myself.
Okay.
But yes, I do hear you. So you got a 27?
27 for nutritional.
Okay.
10 for medicinal and 17 for recreational.
Okay. So for the nutritional, you're able to gather at least one kind of big plume of mushrooms. I would say it's like almost like a bushel, maybe something I can compare to a large head of cauliflower, as far as how the mushrooms are actually porous and they're small enough where it looks like, upon first inspection, it's cauliflower, but it's just this big gangle of mushrooms. As far as the medicinal, you are able to get 4 different mushrooms that possibly within the hands of a certain herbologist might be able to turn it into something medicinal. And with your 17, you can't really find any of the recreational kinds here.
Gee dang.
Okay. And then as far as laying of the land, go ahead and roll a survival check for me.
8.
Okay. 8?
8.
Okay. So with your 8, it doesn't look like there are a lot of mountain ranges. It looks like the mountain that the prison was inside, the Iron Hill Mountain, seems to be the most prominent. There are smaller chains, but there isn't anything that you can tell that's substantial that is, coaxing. It looks like it's mostly just this giant mountain in the middle of this forest.
Okay.
Okay.
And
anything else that you would like to do?
Nope, I end my turn.
Okay. Donner, what are you doing over the course of the week to 2 week range?
So, excuse me. First, I would still be looking for lilacs or any kind of flower at all at this point. Maybe something that closely resembles it or smells like it. But really searching quite heavily for that particular flower.
For lilacs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, first, go ahead and roll an investigation. Roll 2 investigation checks for me over the course of the span.
5.
Okay.
17.
Okay. During the first week, you kind of stick to what you know about flowers, which isn't a lot. You're looking mostly towards the riverbeds. You're like, well, flowers need water to live, so it's a lot of you see different kind of like lily pads and a lot of not salt, lots of mud and silt. That's what I was thinking. Silt as it's passing through the rocks and the different kind of foliage. Occasionally you see different kind of cattails from more concentrated areas of the river, but not until you get to your second kind of week where you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be looking at river plants. You start branching out during your watches, and at one point you kind of find during the evening you find these kind of very pretty, I would say, almost fluorescent white flowers that seem to be vibrant during the nighttime, but by the time morning comes and you go to look at them, they're shriveled up and they pass.
I would pick one and and put it in my bag, just to, if it comes down to it, I could have Alder do something with it, probably bring it back if he could, but I would just take it to have one.
Okay. So you're able to kind of pick this, and what else are we doing over the course?
As we get closer, one of the final nights before we get into town, when everyone's, I would recommend to hold camp by the river or the lake or whatever's around. And during my watch, I would go into the river and try and get as clean as I could, but also be drinking pretty heavily the entire time.
Okay. So you guys kind of take note as Donner kind of takes the lead of like, this is where we need to set up camp. We should stick here. But he is booze hounding it up. There's not a moment that passes during the course of your 2 weeks where he does not have a drink in his hand.
How much alcohol does he have?
I've been working on that gin, son. I had a big bottle of beer or ale, and then I had a bottle of gin and a bottle of whiskey. So I would say probably killed the gin and about halfway to 3/4 way through whiskey at this point.
Okay. So, I mean, you kind of work your way through it. You kill one bottle, you start working through the whiskey, and drinking is bringing you a comfort that you haven't had in quite some time.
So I'll kind of like, during my watch, I'll kind of look around, make sure no one's looking at me, and I'll strip down. I'll just take a big swig, and I'll slowly start to wade into the river and like scrub, like get all the dead skin and dirt and grime. I'll even grab, like, if I can find like moss or something, and I'll just scrub and try and get as clean as I can.
Okay. Are you being relatively quiet about it, or you're
Trying, but
trying?
some of that dirt
Okay.
it's in there.
It's on there. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me. And everyone knock down your passive perception by like 3 because you're sleeping.
18.
Ooh,
Yeah, beat it.
you lucky I was sleeping.
Yeah.
I have an 8.
So
16.
me too.
It's 16.
I will say everyone doesn't notice. I would say, though, Aya is outside of Alder's tent, she kind of has this perch where she either finds a tree or she perches on the top of the tent and kind of keeps lock or watch while either he's resting or meditating or, private time to himself. And she just kind of eyes you as she watches this strange interaction of you trying to get into this water, and it's cold. It's over the course of the week or so, you're able to figure out it's a fresh kind of water. It's spring water. And it just literally it perks you awake and wakes you up as I don't know what a clean check would be. Go ahead and roll. Well, cleanliness is survival. Go ahead and roll a survival check for me.
If that doesn't work, just intimidate the dirt off you.
Yeah.
19.
You do a fairly decent job with the resources that you have. At one point, you're able to, with the different kind of like dust and soot and lye that just kind of organically goes down this stream, you're able to kind of get a slight froth after getting a couple of different kind of stones together. You're able to wash, and you're able to kind of dry yourself off. Even if you wanted to go into the forest and kind of come up with something to make you smell good or some kind of shampoo, you can attempt to do that as well. But you're at a very base level of cleanliness, I would say.
I'll take it.
Okay. So I would say you said this is as you're getting closer to the town?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would say roughly around day 12, 11, for the first time in the morning, you see, because before he kind of washed himself in the showers at the prison, it was kind of like, a really dirty kid being told to take a shower and then getting his hair wet. So it's just kind of streaks of just gross dirt and grime and him being like, I'm clean. This is the first instance that you kind of see that Donner has slightly lighter hair than it looks that he usually does. Like it's this kind of dirty, muddy, dark blonde, and it seems like it's slightly lighter. That he's a fairly good-looking gentleman with when he's clean, and he doesn't smell like butt.
Hey, you don't smell like butt anymore.
That is reassuring. Thank you so much there, Dremel. I figured you guys couldn't be walking around with a mud monster in town, so clean myself up a little bit.
I mean, we could, we might get some looks, but we're probably going to get some looks no matter what. So
I was going to say, your hair's green, he's a cow, and he's huge, so we're going to get looked at either way. I might as well look like the most normal one out of all of you.
Yeah, about that. How far are we from this town anyways? Does anyone know? Do we see it? No.
I would say within, the 12th day, you kind of see over a very small kind of hill, you see about a few hours travel out, you see kind of like the different kind of smokestacks of civilization as you can see White Willow Plaza from a few hours away.
Okay. Just to avoid what happened last time, I'm going to pull out my hat of this, or I'm going to take the hat of disguise, and I'll just, if I ever see anyone, like, even if it's from a distance, I'm going to change back to my, was it Thomas? Was that who I used for?
Yes, you used Thomas. The human.
Yeah.
The human.
That human.
I'm the overweight human disguise if I see anyone that's not us.
Got it. Anyone else prepping for when you guys get into town?
Well, disguise self only lasts for an hour, so I'm just gonna be a goddamn giant.
Good for you. And
Yeah,
then that
with the hat, I can keep casting it.
Yeah. So
And on
wait.
that day, Dremel walked a little bit taller that day.
So how tall is everyone again? And Thok with the hat. I'm just trying to get a picture of how much taller I am
Oh, with the hat or without the hat?
with the hat.
With the hat, I think I said I was like 6 foot, but I was like
Mhm.
300 because I'm 350 pounds like now.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
make sure that I like that the weight still transfers over. So a 6 foot tall, 350 pound man.
Big
I'm
boy.
about 6'1", very lean.
6'6", very big.
So I'm the dad
I'm the shortest.
because I think I was 7'11",
Yeah,
just quite
Yeah.
high.
You're
Yeah.
very big.
it's pretty big.
All right.
You're a monster.
So if
You
you
have
guys
to duck
just want
into
to,
any door we find.
yeah, can I just walk on my knees? Are there knee shoes? Is that a thing in this world?
You
Make
know
it
what?
can.
Why don't we can try to figure it out. If there was a Wizard Steve's at White Willow Plaza, probably. Okay. So about a few hours as you guys kind of prepare, Aya kind of leaps off of your shoulder, Alder, as kind of soars over and scouts a little bit ahead towards the town as this kind of anticipation starts to stir in your stomachs. This isn't a little old lady in a hut in the middle of nowhere. This isn't a prison. These are civilians in their own environment as you slowly come up onto White Willow Plaza. So we will boop, move this
Oh,
here.
we got maps?
Yeah. Mike,
Yeah.
shut up.
This new map is brought to you by Dan Hemingway, who is
David
created-
Hemingway.
David. I thought it was Dan. Sorry. Hey, I got the last name right. David Hemingway.
A solid 50%.
50% works.
To be completely honest, Justin had the name wrong for like the first 3 weeks we were using it. So
Yeah, but I had his first name right. So
That's true.
Shut up. If we were at a
Booyah.
cocktail party, I'd be like, David, how's it going? And then there would be no ill will. I'm like, you, Dan.
Fucking Dan Hemingway, imaginary son of a bitch.
Not to be confused with David Hemingway, who is a very lovely gentleman. So you kind of come up onto this river town. It seems there's kind of a hustle and bustle. Things are coming in and out. It's very tiny. Definitely does not procure the name Plaza, but it seems that they have a base of operations as kind of a port for, unfortunately, being the only civilization or large civilization within the area. So you have different kind of shops and towns and or buildings, and there is an inn that you can see at the far south corner as you guys kind of come apart to it. As there is this portly kind of half orc. It seems like he's kind of throwing out some buckets of water and different kinds of liquid as you see him kind of go back inside to a fairly rowdy kind of orchestra inside of people. Immediately, Aya kind of lands on top of this building here. It seems fairly decent. Everything's slightly stilted. Being a river town, you don't know if there's any kind of flash flood that could happen from the river itself. But you see outside this very old kind of, you see in the snout, this kind of gray old bloodhound dog that kind of looks up at you, blows air through its jowls as it kind of rests its head back down. As you hear different kinds of scuttering inside of the building as you are at White Willow Plaza. What would we like to do?
Oh
I don't
boy,
know.
it's been so long since I've seen civilization.
How many people are kind of out and about?
There are a few people out and about. I would say there's a good handful, around like 15 people, just kind of outside. Either they're working or they're sweeping through things. Occasionally, you'll see I wouldn't say adventurer types, but I would say to the extent of people with different kind of like packs on, definitely travelers, um, either stocking up their horses or doing very basic trade. It's a very quiet kind of town.
Have they noticed Dremel yet?
I'm sorry?
Have they noticed Dremel yet?
Um, so after a little bit of you guys kind of walking around, you see eventually Drummel, everyone kind of just looking up at you. There are a few kids that are, scolded by their parents to not stare at the giant blue person. As some of these kids just look infatuated with you. And after a little bit, you kind of have like a trail of like 3 or 4 like little kids kind of, I would say like a few feet behind you, kind of giggling, and like some try to pull at your tail, some try to see what the hell you are, but they seem pretty jazzed that you're there.
I will start interacting with them. Just as they walk around, I'll just kind of like, just kind of not to scare them, but to just play.
Some of them get like a little startled, but they giggle, and you see them hide behind like barrels and stuff, and they're like peeking their heads out. And this is kind of it doesn't look like anyone's looking at you oddly. No one is going like kill the cow person or, rubbing their hands together, lip smacking. They definitely seem plexed by your sight, but you never know. They might have seen weirder.
All right. If no one else has anything, one thing I would like to do is find a herbalist and or apothecary. See if I can do something with these mushrooms I've been collecting.
Okay. After a little bit of kind of, are you all kind of just branching out to cover ground?
Yeah.
I'm looking
Okay.
for a bar.
Well, we know where that is. Okay, so Thok is looking for a bar. Alder, what's your plan?
I would honestly probably walk around aimlessly and till someone see if anyone approaches me before I approach them. I'm not the best at just kind of like talking to new people, so I kind of don't want to be the first person to start a conversation.
Okay. And then Donner, what you doing, bud?
I'm kind of looking around for like a smith of some kind, just to see if I can upgrade my armor or get a shield.
Okay. So we'll follow. Okay. We'll follow Dremel first, as he kind of looks around, and after a while of kind of perusing, the shock of the giant cow person kind of lays off as you're looking at different, kind of shops and kiosks. You see, different kind of homes, and you see mothers with their children and kids playing in the street or on the kind of dirt passages. And at one point you do get to a kind of, it looks almost like, I wouldn't say you see different plants outside of this little hut. You see a very older man. He has this kind of tanned, cream skin, wrinkles, kind of breathing in and out. You see he's meditating as there's different kind of incense burned around him, and different kinds of plants and things that don't look like they naturally grow here. As you are over here. Whoop. As this little kind of old man eventually you kind of step into his sunlight as he kind of opens one eye and this giant blue cow person is eclipsing him. And you see he kind of looks at you and he goes, "Hello, can I help you?"
Yeah. Howdy. You seem like you know a bunch about plants and fungi. Am I right? Am I on with that?
Well, I feel like that is assuming of my wild and exotic plants. I've been known to meddle every once in a while, and you see him, and you hear his knees kind of pop and creak as he kind of sits up, and he's kind of slouched over, and he has around his neck this pennant as he goes, please come inside. And you see him, and it's this very small door in his cottage.
Is the cottage large enough that I can actually get inside, or be inside rather?
You can. It's gonna take some finessing, but I would say you'd be able to get inside after a while.
Okay. I'll ask him. Do you want me to try to come inside, or should I wait out here?
And you see him, and he kind of turns around and he goes, "Well, I was inviting you inside. Do you prefer to stand outside? I mean, it is a beautiful day outside."
I just don't want to break your house. I know you can see it. I'm pretty fucking big.
Yes, you are quite big. Um, no, that's quite all right. I've had larger people here, but that's okay. I'll get stools. Do you like tea?
I love tea.
And he kind of shuffles in, and after a few moments, he kind of comes out, and he has this little like stool for you, and he sits down at his doorstep on his stoop where this pillow is, and kind of clutches at the symbol around his neck as he puts the tea down, and he goes, "So, not many of your kind around here. Please, excuse me for being a little blunt. I'm not quite familiar with this." And he kind of gestures to all of you.
Are they with me?
No, all of you, as in all 7 and 11 feet of you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not from these parts. I'm much more of a mountain kind of guy. Hence the tall mountainous build. As I do a little joke flex. Kinda.
And he kind of chuckles and he goes, "Oh, I see. You are from," and he gestures over to you're from the Iron Hills. You should be careful around there. Lots of unsurly types that live within their prison.
Ooh, a prison. Oh, I'll be sure to stay away from there. I come from a different mountain range. A bit far away.
Bit far away. What brings you to the sunny town of White Willow?
Well, I'm a bit of a journeyman. I go around looking for different fungi and plants and try to turn them into some sort of a food, a protein sort of drink, a medicine, just to bring to any village I can. And I've collected all these, and I kind of present him with the medicinal mushrooms that I found, because I would assume that the edible ones that I found over the time was
nutritional.
It was just to keep us satiated.
Yeah.
So I present
you.
Go ahead. Yeah, so I just present him with the medicinal mushrooms and say, but I'm kind of I'm at an impasse. I've never seen these before, and I don't know how to work with them, but I feel like they could be some good healing use.
And you see him, and he kind of breathes in, clutches his holy symbol, and breathes out. I think I might be able to find some use and some information for that. Looking for some kind of revitalization or healing property, something from exhaustion.
Whatever you can figure out. I'm a little out of my depth here.
Well, that is quite all right. We get a lot of wanderers here at White Willow. So, yes, if you give me some time, I would love to work with this. I didn't get your name, son.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Dremel, and I reach out my hand to shake.
And this very old, kind of soft hand grabs yours. It takes your hand, and he places one hand on top and the other on the bottom, as you see different kind of beads wrapped around his forearms and wrists. And he goes, I am Ishiki. Well, we get different names as we join the monastery and go on our pilgrimage, and this one is mine.
I look around to see if White Willow Plaza looks like a monastery.
It doesn't. You look around and you don't see people with shaved heads and robes. He seems to be the only kind of spiritual one here, at least from the initial look about.
Okay. Well, Ashiki, it is fantastic to meet you. Now, I don't have money, but if there's anything that you need done, I have a group of companions who may be able to get some stuff done for you.
I see. So you're out of supply and money. And you see him, and he kind of looks around, and I don't know if I have anything currently. But I will definitely be on the lookout. But giving knowledge and giving the gift of knowledge is a service and a reward in its own. So there's no payment necessary for it, but I do appreciate the offer.
Of course. Well, I'll leave you to it. I'm gonna go find my friends and just kind of see what this whole place is about.
And okay, as Drummel starts to leave, we will move over to. Let's go with who was it? It was Thok. Thok, you were going towards the bar, the inn.
I make my way towards it, and right before I open the door, I kind of like reach into my pockets and remember that all the gold I have, I no longer have. And like I'll like
I'm sorry,
pull my
you cut out a little bit. What happened?
I realized that all the gold that I have, I no longer have. So like I'll like pull my pockets and like a little moth will fly out of it, and I'm just like went from being super excited to finally have like a drink of ale to super depressed. That means that I'm gonna have to wait that much longer, and I kind of like sadly walk away from the door and just wander around town.
Okay, so you kind of go up and you hear kind of the clinking of bar cutlery and mugs. You hear some conversations, the occasional laugh muffled by the door is, yeah, you reach into your pockets and you're like, I don't have a coin purse anymore. It's completely empty. Fuck. And you start to kind of wander. You see that there are different livestock, that you see that there are several horses to the side of the tavern that are kind of roped up. And as you meander, you kind of see Drummel is towering over this very tiny man by a cottage. And let me see here. We will move on to Alder. So, Alder, you were looking for... you were kind of, meandering and looking for a... What was it? Potions?
I was just... No. I was just basically kind of wandering around, and I'm not really the kind of person to start a conversation, so kind of seeing if anyone starts a conversation with me, since I feel as though probably look a little out of place in this town.
After a while, you do pick up on that there aren't a lot of elves here. You see, it's mostly human. And I mean, this is the first time you've been within a human kind of compound within the past couple of months outside of your incident. You kind of like look around. People are very cordial. They're very polite to you. They're like, oh, excuse me. And, they try not to keep eye contact on you for too long because probably not a lot of elves that come through here. And eventually, as you kind of make your way around to where I is kind of standing, you hear a, well, if it isn't a pointy-eared bastard.
Then I just kind of turn around and, I mean, it's no real way to greet a traveler.
as you turn around and you kind of see this blonde-haired, very thick, bearded dwarf. He has different kind of markings and tattoos amongst this shaved head. And he actually has a very wide grin on his face. And he goes, you're so sensitive, your kind. We don't get a lot of elves here. I'm actually quite tickled to have you here.
I mean, I can tell I definitely stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, probably not as much as my blue friend over there who's like 14 feet tall, but...
Yeah, no, I saw that. He's a little bit of a freak, more than you, hobgoblin. Once again, a joke. I love elves.
I can tell that. It's pure sarcasm, I think.
Yes, it's definitely pure sarcasm. Please, come. And you see this very old kind of bloodhound look up from its paws as it's this dwarf's kind of gruff hand pats it and ruffles its ears as you kind of see the door open of his little shop as you hear a little bell ring, and he goes, I'm assuming you look like the woodsy type. Got a few things here you might be interested in, sir.
Yeah. And on my way in, of course, I'm going to extend my hand out to the dog to let him sniff my hand, and if he accepts, I'll give him a pat on the head as well. So,
and this dog is very sweet. Licks your hand, smells your hands, and very slowly kind of gets up and moves a little bit slower than you as you kind of hold the door open for this dog as it goes through the door, and it seems to have a little place set up, and you see a little sign that says "Will bite non-paying customers," as you kind of see it curl up and put its head down as it kind of eyes you guys from its little corner in the room. And you see the dwarf, and he goes, "Oh, that's just Lorna. She doesn't bite unless you don't pay." A joke, of course. So, what brings you to White Willow?
Honestly, hopefully work. Me and my group here, we've been on the road for some time and have been pretty beaten down and don't really have much of anything left to our names. So we're hopeful that we can maybe find some work, some honest work, and get ourselves back on our feet.
Oh, yeah, no, that's definitely being low on coin is a very unfortunate, but of course, eventual thing that we all must go through. I mean, I do have some material. Once again, I mean, not to intrude, you seem very arcane in nature, but I'm trying to think if there's any kind of workarounds. I mean, well, I don't have anything, but we do have a bulletin board at in the center of town that you might be able to find at least something to do before you figure out your next move with your group.
Yeah, no, anything that we can find really just to help us get a little something in our pockets before we move on to the next town. But right now, that's
sure.
kind of where we're at. But you said stuff arcane in nature. Sorry, I didn't quite catch your name.
Oh, sorry. I am Ralph. Just Ralph is fine. It's me dad's name, so of course have to always name your sons after yourself. So all of my siblings are also named Ralph.
Well, Ralph, or Ralph, if you prefer. Pleasure to meet you. Aegis.
And he puts his hand out, and it's this kind of gruff, and once again, he's just tattooed all over. It's these, they're faded, they're blue, against his kind of pale skin. As you kind of get a little bit more detail on him. I would say he's in middle age for a dwarf, but he seems friendly enough, and that's kind of the detail that you kind of get from him right off the bat. So are you going to do anything else within the shop, or are you leaving towards the bulletin board?
I mean, if he had anything else that he wanted to show me, obviously I would take a look at it, but he knows that I don't have any coin right now, so I assume that even though he's friendly enough, he's not going to waste his time until I do have coin. So
Most likely. So he says, I do, when you do procure some coin through your travel, if you're able to do some things, you look like an adventurer of sorts. I mean, I have a few things in my wares, things that you adventuring types like, different kind of components for different spells. Have potions of healing for when you fight things. Just a few kind of trinkets and doodads that I've been able to get through trade and barter over the course of the years. Not a lot of use for it.
Did we lose you?
Unfortunately, but did you lose me?
For a moment.
You cut out for a second there, but you good.
Sorry. Just different kinds of potion and ware. When you procure the coin, we might be able to do a little business with. But I think what you really should probably be doing is figuring out how to get coin and maybe staying in that cushy inn. Unless you like sleeping on the ground, because I assume that's what you might be doing.
It's definitely what I'm doing right now, but a bed definitely sounds nice. I wouldn't lie. Well, Ralph, I do appreciate your hospitality, and you said the bulletin board's towards the center of town, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really miss it.
Well, then I guess that's I know my next move. Thank you.
Of course. And you kind of pet the dog on her snout again, Lorna, and as you make your way back outside, and the bell kind of rings, and then we'll move on to Donner. You kind of meander, you taking in your surroundings. You see, it's not hard to pick out Drummel out of the crowd because he's so fucking tall. But you do eventually see him kind of settle down and talking with this man at this very simple-looking hut that he just completely towers over. You wander a little bit. You see different kind of horses and livestock. You hear kids playing, different kind of games in the streets. And you see, mothers trying to work and plow different kinds of gardens and fields and take care of different livestock, as eventually you were kind of greeted with this kind of clanging of metal against an anvil as you see this I would say slightly portly, older looking gentleman, kind of fiery red hair that's pulled back, this very big kind of almost like a Rottweiler, all black dog with these kind of very bright blue eyes, kind of looking at you as you kind of approach. It sits right up and eyes you as you see this man outside with his anvil and his forge. He has a chimney on his porch as he's you see him working on different kinds of iron. As he kind of looks up and he goes, "All right, Beth, calm down." And he looks over at you and he goes, "Hello there."
Hi.
Good morning. You're looking to shop.
Looking to price. We're here looking for me and my party. We're here looking for work, and I just heard the forge and the clanking, and I figured this would be the place to come.
Well, I mean, yeah, your intuition was right. And he looks you up and down and goes, "Seen a lot of scraps? It looks like a lot of fights, huh?"
Too many in my time.
I can tell the leathers are quite beat up. I mean, very well made, but those need a polishing.
Yeah, they get hit a lot, which is part of the reason I'm looking for either an upgrade in this or maybe some kind of shield to, make myself a little more difficult to hit. Keep the leathers in a good shape for a little longer.
No, that's fair. Well, I mean, my prices are standard rate for most cities. Do you know what you're looking for exactly there, friend?
I don't. Just looking for a shield. um, my my father kind of was well off, so we had our own little armory. So I've never really had to purchase weapons before, but I'm looking forward to doing it right now.
Yeah, you really don't get out much, huh?
Not often enough, apparently.
It sounds like you had pretty high walls in that palace of yours. Yeah, I mean, basic shield's gonna run you about 10 gold pieces. I mean, solid builds. They're gonna protect you. Pretty solidly based. A little harder to hit, but I mean, obviously, if I had better material, I might be able to afford something a little bit better for you. But I mean, basic iron shield will cost you about 10 gold pieces. As he kind of like trails off, as you see him working on this spade, as he's making stuff for the farmhands and whatnot.
You have a lot of farmers around here.
Yeah, I mean, we're an agricultural kind of town. We take care of ourselves. We take people in. I mean, we occasionally have a wrestling match or so to kind of liven up our spirits. And there's nothing here to pillage, so we don't usually run into a lot of trouble here. Mostly keep to ourselves.
A wrestling match, you say?
And you see him, and he kind of like looks back up from his forge as he puts it down for a second. You hear the quenching of the iron as it goes into the oil, as the steam kind of comes up, and you see him, and he kind of walks over to you. I would say he's decently heighted. He's about 5'10", 5'11". Like I said, a little bit portly. It looks like he's been doing this for a while. His hands are kind of covered in soot, and different kind of like blacks and oils. As he goes, I'd shake your hand, but I don't want to rustle up your hands there, Prince.
And I'll put my hand out anyway, and let him. I've never been afraid of a hard day's work. Just because my family had money didn't mean that I had money. As here I am with no money.
And he kind of smirks and he goes, my dad was a hard ass too. And he puts his hand out, and his hands are incredibly callous. They're rough to the touch, almost like touching a low grit of sandpaper. As he shakes it, it's firm, strong. And he goes, well, shit. He looks at the kind of blade on your back, and he sees there, he kind of looks it up and down and goes, do you want that sharpened and oiled? I knew that for you, no charge.
Yeah, that would be lovely, actually. And I'll unsheath it and hand it over to him.
And he goes, all right. I mean, it's been a while since I've been able to work on something like this. So this is actually, as rare as this may seem, it's a little bit of a treat for me. So you kind of see him, and he goes over to his grinding stone, and he goes, give me about 30 minutes. I'll see if I can try to weigh it out and make it a little bit balanced. I don't know where you got this from. It's crafted very, very well. But yeah, it looks like you've been hacking out of trees and shit with this.
I mean, gotta practice somehow.
I've always been a fan of just, shadow training and not dinging my shit on things that hurt it.
I'm used to something a little more blunt.
It's fair. Well, maybe I can try to rustle up some kind of sharpening kit for you as well. That might have to cost a little bit, but yeah, give me like 30 minutes with this, and I'll try to figure it out.
Sure. And I'll kind of wander off, poke my head back into his the area.
I'm
and
sorry?
I'll be like, is there anything in the area? I'm looking for work, like farming. I've worked with a farmer before, helped him out.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something in the area? Can I talk to someone or?
Well, I mean, I can handle myself and my own business, but people like to put shit up on the bulletin board. And you see him and he kind of points over to the left. There's kind of like a little tower pagoda that has this kind of board on it that has different paper tacked on it. And he looks at you and he's like, I mean, the work here is pretty sparse. We're all pretty hard workers here, but you might find something.
I appreciate that. I'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll walk off
you know.
towards the bulletin board.
Okay. And he kind of smirks as he kind of gets up, and you hear the dog kind of bark at you, just because you're leaving, and the dog kind of sounds sad. As you start hearing the whining, and eventually you start hearing the grinding of your blade as it's being sharpened. And eventually, all of you kind of reconvene around this bulletin board as you all gather your information. Anything we're discussing in character as we're coming around?
I would just let them know about the blacksmith, and he seems really nice. Most people here seem really nice, and it's more agricultural than it is hey, kill this thing. Not a lot of that around here, so I would convey that to the group.
The other thing that I'd say is I spoke with Ralph his name, or Ralph for short, has some magical components and healing spells. So obviously, if we find work, might be good to know. Also, obviously, we did escape from prison, so I didn't give him my real name. I told him my name was Aegis, so something to keep in mind for the rest of you as well if you want to try and lay low a little bit.
Well, too late. I met this cool-ass old dude, and I told him my name.
Good.
I mean, well, that's quite all right. But yeah, while we're in town, again, I would say Aegis would be my name while we're here.
I mean, I'm sticking with Thomas. I like Thomas.
Thomas is a good name.
Yeah, I think so too.
Did DM, when I was talking to Ashiki, did I see what his symbol was?
That's a great question. Go ahead and roll a religion check.
Ooh.
Aye.
Anubis.
14.
Surprise. 14. It is a fairly older god. The symbol looks almost like a kind of like a crook, where it's a hooked kind of cane, but in the middle of it kind of branches out. It almost looks like an eye with the profile of the side of the nose. As you know this as the knowing mistress of Ioun, the goddess of knowledge.
Cool. I guess I would relay that because I know it's Ioun, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. After talking about this cool ass old dude I met, I will say he didn't even charge me to make the mushrooms I found into potions. He's a follower of Ioun, so knowledge is its own reward.
Do I know anything about Ioun?
Everyone who would like to think they know something about Ioun, go ahead and roll a religion check for me.
I ain't even gonna try.
That's a hell no. That's a natural 1.
You got a natural 1?
You forget everything you've ever known.
I'm proficient in religion too.
Jesus Christ.
It's fine. It's a very Falk thing. He's been at sea for a while.
Donner?
I, based on my past, would I know anything in general, or
You would know of Ioun.
Mhm.
You could remember from your studies possibly more detail about her.
Definitely not, but okay. I rolled a 4.
A 4?
So, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, it's a little bit more of what Dremel says, that you do know that she's kind of this older god or goddess. She is the keeper of knowledge and stories. You know, at one point that, you know, her reach was very far, and that, you know, through your travel, that people do worship her, mostly scholars, and you'll get the occasional cleric or druid that would follow Ioun, or bard, um, but not enough to know anything super substantial. But you do know Ioun.
Right. Um, I would ask Dremel where this guy is approximately located.
He's there, and I just point to it.
You literally point, and it's not far from the bulletin board. You see this little hut as this little man is kind of teetering about, and you actually see him. He's back meditating. Occasionally, he has this kind of book on his lap, and you'll see that he'll look up, close his eyes. He'll kind of have like a small smile on his face as he goes back and he turns a page, looks at it, reads, contemplates on it, reads, turns the page. So he kind of has this sporadic where he's literally taking in everything that he's reading.
I'm gonna walk towards him, just like ignore everybody else and head towards him.
Classic Donner.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, all of you are convened at this one location, and Drummel's like, yeah, Ioun, you know, the goddess of knowledge, and Donner's like, bail, I'm going to talk to this guy. So you start to approach him, and you see he kind of like looks up between flipping the page and closing his eyes and smiling, and you kind of see him like half grinning as he goes, oh, I'm sorry. And you see him with this kind of like froofy little bookmark tassel, and he closes the book and very gently places the book next to him to his right side and puts his hand in his laps, and he goes, hello,
Hi.
how can I help you?
I'm a friend of Dremel, who I believe you met earlier.
Oh, yes, the giant man. Yes.
Yeah, he's the cow man. We call him Ice Cream sometimes. He really likes it.
Okay.
He mentioned your holy symbol, and I wanted to know if you could spare some time to discuss some of Ioun's knowledge, or, you know, some other things with me.
Certainly. I mean, I'm more than happy to sit and discuss the teaching of Ioun. I am the only holy man here, so most responsibility lays within me, and I am kind of a source for knowledge, unfortunately, outside of the former great library. But yes, I'm more than happy. However, I am assisting your friend Drummel with his mushroom situation. I was just reading about the different kind of botany and different things that can be made with mushrooms. Very fascinating things. But I'm more than happy to discuss with you. Are you looking to stay into town very long?
I know we are planning to try and get some work. And really, it's just going to be however long it takes us to make that happen. We're all kind of headed into different directions. Do you know of the Sun Gulf?
Sun Gulf. Yes,
Port.
that's a town a few days out from here. Yes.
Yeah, we have some friends coming to meet us in the Sun Gulf, so we want to get there. But we want some coin first, you know, friends, parties, drinking, all that good stuff. So we were unfortunately left penniless in our travels.
No, that is fair. Your friend Dremel did mention some hardship that you all were going through. I did procure that the bulletin board does usually have some different kinds of work. things that you may be able to do, or you could always ask the innkeep to see if you could do some chores around the bar to see if you can perhaps stay for the night or so. I would offer my visages, but unfortunately, it's not big enough for anyone but myself. But Trem is usually a reasonable man. He might be able to cut you some kind of bargain or deal.
And he is the innkeep.
Yeah, he owns the bar. It's called the Cracked Tankard. It's been here for quite some generation. Since being here on my pilgrimage, it's been here for quite some time.
Well, I appreciate the more information. I will convey that to the group. But yeah, if before we leave, we could have a discussion, I would appreciate it.
Of course, knowledge is a gift that we can always give each other, and I'm more than happy to give that gift.
As Dremel has stated. Thank you
Yes,
for
yes.
your time. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Walk back to
I hope you find what you're looking for.
Me too. I'll walk back to the bulletin board.
Yep. And you see him, and he kind of puts up this book, and he's back to his little ritual. As what are the three of you doing while Donner kind of walked off?
I'm gonna start to investigate that bulletin board, see if I could find anything.
And
I'm gonna be nosy and eavesdrop.
Okay, Thok. We'll go with Thok first. Thok, go ahead and stealth over there. See if you can eavesdrop as a 300-pound
Guy
man.
wearing full plate.
Oh, I was just trying to listen in. Like, aren't we like 20 feet away? Where are we?
Go ahead and roll a perception check at disadvantage because you're still fairly far away from where the bulletin board is.
At disadvantage. That's still a 22.
Oh,
So it's what?
22.
Jesus Christ.
I have a very high
I will
perception.
say, even though you are far away, you don't get the full conversation, but you do get pieces here and there of Donner's kind of curiosity about what exactly this priest knows.
The main thing I want to, again, since I don't want to meta, like the main thing I want to know is like hearing the whole like he's full of knowledge and he likes to give knowledge part.
Yeah.
And then I'll do something after everybody else.
Okay, so you pick up on that as well. Dremel, what you doing during the weird thing?
Well, if Thok is staying near us, I would be asking him what he did while I was meeting my cool new friend that Donner is now trying to steal.
Yes.
Well, I tried to go to the tavern and then I realized that we're broke as fuck. So it does no good walking into a tavern broke. Because they're not going to give you free alcohol.
You know, you're probably right. But just another week, and I reach into my bag and I pull out that fermenting wine, that Vindrin made. And I kind of shake him like, one more week, buddy.
Yeah, and I like wine. I was just looking forward to ale.
Well, this is a special occasion Vindrin wine, so we'll get you some ale in the meantime.
Also true. We'll figure it out.
Okay. So while that is going on, Alder, we will move on to the bulletin board. If I can... Did it pop up? Did it all go away?
Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
It popped up. You can see what's on the board.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Very
It
cool.
scared
I
game.
can't hear you guys.
It scared me. Yes.
I love this.
This is dope.
Oh, you can. Okay. For some reason, I can't see it. But
Oh,
okay.
really?
Oh, there it is. It's loading very slowly. My server for Roll20 is not so hot right now. But Alder, this is what you see as you're looking.
Of course, I see the Warriors wanted one. The one that says help needed, of course, is kind of covered up by the Warriors wanted. And
That's
the
the one
Warriors
that you're
wanted.
kind of.
Yeah, the one
Mhm.
that's covered up because that says help needed and it doesn't say no magic, no funny business because I'm kind of magic and funny business. So,
Right. Okay. Let me see here.
the
Sorry,
Warriors
give
wanted
me-
might be better for Thok and Donna.
Okay. So you guys kind of eventually reconvene as Alder kind of has his nose to this bulletin board as the four of you kind of start to convene. Unless Thok, what were you doing at the end of everything?
Sorry. I was gonna ask that lovely old man if he was so knowledgeable, if he knew where Saltstone Wharf was, and like how long he would guesstimate a ship would take from Sun Gulf to Salt Shore Wharf.
Okay. So we'll get to that. So we'll have the three, Alder, Dremel, and Donner looking at the bulletin board as you kind of meander over there. So the three of you, what are you guys talking about? What are you guys looking at?
I would also see the warrior one. Not crazy interested in just fighting to fight, but the help needed behind it is the most intriguing for me as well.
Okay. Donner?
So, a fighting pit. If I was a couple of years younger, that might appeal to me. But it's hard to turn down the coin. Do you think these other individuals potentially did something wrong, or
I think it's a fighting competition, like the one you and
Yeah.
Thog did like 2 weeks ago.
yeah, but that was just between friends trying to keep each other's skills sharp.
Sounds like it's a group of new friends to help you keep your skills sharp.
I mean, if it'll help us, I'll do it.
Yes. I'm just really excited to watch him fight.
Okay.
You've seen me fight.
Yeah, but again, it was a lot of fun the first time.
I will
So-
do my best. Just don't make a magical snake just appear, and I won't try and fight it.
It says
I
no funny
promise.
business, no magic.
Yeah,
Okay.
do you believe Dremel? Because I don't.
Oh, I'm literally doing this to everyone.
Got it.
What are you doing to everyone?
Oh, crossing my fingers and saying, "I promise."
Jesus Christ.
That's how he seals the promises.
Yeah, it's
Keeps
a
them nice and tight.
it's a tight promise.
Okay. A tight promise. Okay. So the three of you are kind of looking at this, and Alder, you're kind of looking at this specific one that has the help wanted on it. Let me see here. If I can slowly move. Unfortunately, moving this. And you kind of take the tack off as you read through it. Up to you if you want to read it out loud to your friends.
Help, wife and daughter have been missing for past 3 weeks. Last seen going to Sun Gulf. Not much coin, but I will give our savings. Please, I am concerned. Ask for grace. Oh, shit. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's much money in the way that it can help us, but it's at least something that we can all work on to try and get some honest money.
I mean, we could just help him because she is in need.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely we can, but I mean, any bit of money we can get would be great because then we can at least afford to maybe put ourselves up in the inn for a day or two.
Yeah, I'm all for helping people who need help, but I'm all more for helping people who need help who will give us money because we do not have any.
Well, from Dremel's friend, the old guy whose name I did not ask for, and he did not ask for mine. He said that the innkeep was a fair man, would offer work potentially, so that's also an option.
Okay, so we will talk to the innkeeper. Donner, you're going to go fight in a big old pit.
Right.
And we're going to make a lot of money.
I guess I can try.
Look at those muscles. You beat Thok. Right? Did Thok win? Who won?
Yeah, he beat
Thought
Thok.
one.
That's what. Wait, who won?
Don't
I
know.
did.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, you
Donner
beat
won.
Thok.
No, I won. I'm not there.
You won going to the ground first, so congratulations.
I'm not there.
I still say it.
I will also say, Alder, in your player journal on Roll20, you have the Help Wanted ad, so you can reference it as needed.
Okay. I don't know how that works, but cool.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of discussing, Thok, you meander your way back over to this old little priest as he's breathing in, turning his page, and reading through the wonderful lives and genealogy of fungus. As he kind of watches you waddle your way over, and he kind of looks at you and he goes, "I see you are friends with Drummel, I'm guessing."
Yeah, he said you're a very knowledgeable and insightful person.
I have been one to do so, yes. How may I help you?
I'm so sorry to disturb you. I'm really bad with distance, and I was just curious if you knew by any chance where
I'm
like
sorry. Sorry, it keeps cutting out. What was that?
you're fine. Here, let me turn up your hearing rate. Give me a second. Is that better?
Yes.
Perfect. I was just wondering if you by any chance knew where the Saltstone Wash was. Yeah.
And he kind of like looks back and forth and he goes, "Well, I mean, I can meander the atlases and see if I can kind of find that. I'm not quite too familiar with Salt Wharf Port. Well, I'm sorry. What was it?
Saltstone Wharf.
Salt." And you see him and he takes out like a little pad that you see has a few things on it. Salt Wharf. Okay. So you're looking for from this point to there, I suppose.
Either that or
I might be able to.
Flamingo Bay. Flamingo Bay could be another
Flamingo.
one.
I will write Flamingo Bay down as well. I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar.
That's okay.
Yes, but I can also see if I can find the closest port. I do know there is one, but unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with the name. Names do change as time goes, and I've been here for quite some time. But I might be able to procure some information for you. I do have a few things on the list beforehand. Your friend Drummel asking about the origin and the uses of these mushrooms, hence the reading. Your other friend, the blonde one, had some questions regarding my knowledge of my goddess. So I assume at some point you'll be coming. So I will put this in the second slot unless your blonde friend shows up.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I am Ishiki. And you are
Ishiki. My name is Thomas. Thomas Daniels.
Thomas. Yeah. Thomas Day. Okay. Well, Thomas, I will work on this as soon as I am finished with your very tall friend's order.
Thank you so much. And honestly, like if either one of them get here before myself, you can even just give them the information. I'll be swinging by probably with them anyways.
Yes, parties tend to seem to stay together here.
We
Makes
do.
sense.
Thank you so much. And I joined the rest of the group.
Of course. So you kind of see them all as they're all kind of, their arms are crossed as they're deciding what to do as far as coin. And what seems to be the consensus as Doc finally joins the rest of you?
Thok and I are going to go into the fighting pit.
Okay.
We are?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, we are.
yeah.
Apparently, you just got signed up for that.
I mean,
I mean-
neither one of you are going to do it, so
I mean, I
slept
could
pretty
do it,
good.
but I don't punch that strong.
And I would,
Yeah.
but my sciatica is acting up.
yeah.
You know, I
please take care of your sciatica.
I can take care of that for you.
Oh, Thok can fix it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure it'll work itself out on its own.
Oh, okay. Well, just let me know. I can push some pressure points, and we'll fix that.
Punch you in the back really hard. Whatever. It could work.
I mean, firm hands are really good for massages. I'm just saying.
You know, I might have to take you up on that, but just don't die in the pits first.
No, I'm not gonna die.
Yeah, not with that attitude.
I'm looking forward to it. I've slept pretty good since the last fight, so I'm pretty sure I'll sleep pretty good after this one.
Yeah, you got a bit of a glow to you.
Thanks. I feel good. I feel good about this.
As everyone's talking, I'm gonna grab the Valorian army bulletin. I'm just gonna pull that off.
Okay. Okay. So I will add that eventually to your inventory. But yep, the Valorian army. Are you taking it before Thok is there?
What were we doing? How long were you gone, Thok?
A minute, maybe two. Like I was just asking him about that, and he wrote it down, right? And he said he would look it up later. So what? 2-3 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If we had finished our conversation, or as we were deciding, I probably would have taken it. I'm not exactly trying to hide it, but I'm not making a big show.
Okay. So, yeah, you kind of all start pulling things off of the bulletin board. Dremel, you get the Valorian army. Alder has the help needed. Donner kind of has the warriors wanted in his hands. And
I
really
want the
what's left is
chicken.
the dull blade and missing chickens. What was that?
I said I want the chicken. No, I don't. Carlos wants the chickens. Doc wouldn't give a shit about chickens except to eat them.
Well, they're missing, so.
Because Doc ate them.
Not yet.
They're gone.
Time is a flat circle.
Okay. So the game plan is fighting pits, finding the owner of the help needed, and I'm guessing just pocketing the Valorian army. When you get the Valorian army post, it seems fairly old. Like it's been there for a few months. It's a little sun bleached. The help needed one, a little bit older than the rest of them, but not as quite as sun bleached as the Valorian one.
Okay.
Okay.
And then before we start looking for these adventures, did we want to go into the inn to see if the innkeep has any work for us to possibly have a place to stay for the night? Like you guys said that the old man friend had mentioned.
Would we have to pay?
I mean, he said he's a reasonable man. We might be able to barter work for a place to stay.
That's what I was told by the blacksmith.
That's right, blacksmith. That's who said it.
Everyone seems to be very nice around here. Yeah, sure. Why don't we do that?
Do I know where the fighting pits are?
I'm sorry, do you know what?
Where the fighting pits are? Or where it would be?
I mean, you guys didn't really see a direction of where these kind of fighting pits were when you came in. It could be on a different side of the town. It could be outside of the town slightly. You honestly, you could ask around, and you could probably gather the information.
Okay. I mean, we're going to the leaky tankard, cracked tankard, whatever. Anyway.
Okay. So let me switch that back over. Okay. So you guys all eventually meander your way back to the cracked tankard. The bar doors kind of swing open as it's fairly lively. It looks like it's a good mix of different kind of travelers and also, but it's mostly of the townsfolk. So you see a lot of farm hands. As you guys are there, it's, I would say, going into later into the afternoon, very early evening, maybe around supper time, as you're kind of greeted with this, I would say, kind of gruff looking, but fairly friendly half-orc, as it seems like he's kind of cleaning glasses and stacking them, as you see different patrons like hanging over their drinks or talking at different tables, as he kind of looks up and greets you and he goes, welcome to the Cracked Tankard. How can I help you?
Kind of elbow talk. And to be like, you talk.
Yes. Sorry. I'm not really good at this. We were referred by our lovely friend over there. Said this is a good place to stay.
Well, I mean, to be kind of frank, this is the only place to stay. So, yeah, it's a good place.
We're a little shy on coin at the time being. Would you accept any? We'll do an honest day's work for some lodging, if all possible.
Huh. Well, you see him and he kind of looks around and he looks at the four of you and he goes, well, I'll tell you this. Usually my running rate is 5 silver pieces for a stay. Usually that's with your own individual rooms and with meals. I'll tell you what. You bust some tables, you clean up the troughs for the horses in the back, you fucking shovel the shit. I'll let you all stay in one room for a night. And you guys can all have the leftover bread and wine that isn't ingested tonight.
Alder's a great cook.
Aegis is a pretty good cook, yeah.
I don't know that guy. It's Alder. That's him. The one with the green hair. His name's Alder.
And he kind of looks at you and puts his kind of arm on the table and he goes, I mean, that's very kind of you all, Alder. I'm sure you're a fantastic cook. But, I mean, we already got the dinner ready to go, and unfortunately, I don't really need a cook right now.
What's that, a cooking competition?
Go ahead and roll that weak-ass persuasion.
Oh, we just came up with Iron Chef.
17.
It's canon.
Done.
17. He looks at you and he goes, I mean, not looking for a competition. What would the prize be anyway? What would be in it for me?
Yeah, I didn't get that far.
Hi. I'm Donna.
What?
Donna. That's me. I'm Donna. And I'll extend my hand.
Sorry, guys, you're cutting out again. What was that?
I was just introducing myself to this innkeeper.
Okay. Sorry, it's bad. Let me try to see if I can join and unjoin the call. Just talk amongst yourselves real quick.
Yeah.
Man, guys, I really think this chef competition could be the thing.
You know,
we could win it. We could win a night, and we don't have to clean or clean. I don't
Do
want
you
to
not
clean.
want to clean?
No,
You don't, no
no,
part
No.
of you wants to clean.
no.
Have you not noticed how he never wants to pack up his own gear?
Is that like cleaning too? Or
Okay.
Yeah, I
think
like
know what it is.
making the messes, not unmaking the messes.
got it. All right.
I actually didn't know
Understood.
what the word clean meant until y'all started saying it a couple weeks ago.
Insight
Clean.
check.
Sure, go ahead and roll an insight check. Roll a deception check there, Dremel.
All right. 11.
19.
Obviously, he's talking out of his ass. Dremel.
Man, I just called it anti-mess.
Call it.
Oh my
Insight check. No, I'm just kidding. So I reach my hand out to the innkeep and I say, "Hi, I'm Donna."
Looks at you and he grabs your hand. He goes, "Trem,
Trem,
this is my bar."
Uh, lovely bar you have here. I'm gonna go. I don't know about these guys, but I'm gonna go get to work in the stable. That's what I'd prefer, to be honest. If you'd be so kind, when are the fight pits open?
I mean, usually
Where are
it's,
they?
well, they're on the outskirts of town. We don't really want to. They can get a little bit messy. It's kind of like a push the other guy out of the ring, make them submit kind of thing. I mean, it's nothing like out of like Cheswick's or some shit. But I mean, it passes the time. It lets the guys let out some, aggression. Occasionally, we get travelers like yourself who want to win some coin, and we kind of pool it up. It's kind of fun for us.
What's like a typical prize for a winner?
Sometimes it's a round of drinks. Occasionally, it's a little bit of coin that we're able to kind of scrape together. Really depends on the evening. And he kind of looks under and he flips through this little notebook and he goes, "It looks like we're able to get 10 silver pieces for the winner. So, I mean, we have that tonight."
Oh, that's tonight.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sign me up.
All right, Mr. Donor, I'll have you signed up. And you see him and he scribbles down there.
And then I kind of go to the stable. I'm sure I can find it by the smell of horse shit.
You can. He's like, "You want to wear that pretty armor to the stable?"
It's just armor.
Okay. And
And,
you kind of make your way out he kind of leans forward as the three of you are there.
I'm gonna get ready to go to the stable as well, but I'll hold out the note that I pulled off the bulletin board, and I'll be like, "Do you know of the person that posted this?" And I'll
And you
hold the
see
note
him-
out to him. I think the name was Grace.
And he looks and he goes, "Jeez, that crackpot." "Yeah, I know Gracie. She's sweet kid. She's worried about her partner and their child. Went to Sun Golf a few weeks ago, but people go to Sun Golf. People go there all the time. I don't understand her, curiosity or to worry about it. I mean, if she's that fucking worried, why doesn't she just go by herself? But no, she's a sweet kid. I mean, you can probably find her around town if you ask around a little bit. I know that her house is at the and you see him and he makes the L's and he goes, "You want to go to?" We're facing west. No, we're facing east. We want to go like northeast of the town. She's usually on the outskirts. Kind of a big hay topped roof. Can't really miss it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Good luck with that, crackpot. And as you kind of like fold up the bulletin and you start making your way around the stables, and he looks at both the Dremel and Thok, and he goes, "Any other things you want to pull out of your pockets or ask me about?"
No. I'm just ready to start waiting tables.
Okay. Then he looks over at you, Thok. Do you think you
What?
can handle some table busting there, Husky?
I will. I'll try my best. I've never done it, but I'll try my best.
Okay, I don't need you breaking glasses and shit. Just, clean up the plates and then put them on the counter here, or better yet, you know what? Get in the fucking back. If you can just clean the plates and whatnot, that would just be a big help for me.
I could do that.
Now, is there anything I should know about talking to the cooks? Do you have a special code that I like for the different orders that come out, so I can bring the patrons their food and drink?
I mean, usually the little barmaid will come around and she'll, what's her name again? It's Charlotte. Little Charlotte will go around and she'll tell you where to go and what needs to be placed on it. I mean, we don't have much here. It's decent food, at least warm your belly, fine drink, fine ale, fine wine. It's
Now,
modest.
could I try a little bit of each of those so that when the patrons are asking me for recommendations, I can give them pairing options and just give them a personalized recommendation?
Sure, kid. I got a recommendation for you. The bread goes really good with the hunk of cheese that we have.
All right, that's a good start. How about that ale?
It's beer.
Cool, but what does it taste like? There's so many different kinds of beers,
You're right. It tastes like a norm person who wants to sleep at the inn. Beer.
I don't know that flavor, but I guess I will figure it out.
Might as well try, right?
I look around for like an apron or something, so I look like a host kind of person.
And you see this fairly young. Maybe she's like about 17, 18. Hair is kind of like in her face, a little bit more rounder. Little bit of it looks like she might be like 1/4 orc, as she kind of is picking up different kind of beers and empty mugs that she's placing more down. As she kind of leans over and she goes, "Uncle Tram, they're thirsty tonight." And she kind of looks up at you, and you're just towering over her, and she's like, "And who is this?" And Trem goes, "Charlotte, this is
Dremel.
fuck. Dremel. This is Dremel."
Howdy, ma'am.
And you kind of like bow and crouch to her, and she goes, "You look a little lost. I'm guessing you're low on coin if my uncle's making you bus tables."
Yeah, he has me serving tables.
Serving tables. Right. And she kind of looks at you as she kind of goes into the back and starts pulling things out, as she goes, "All right, well, try to keep up." And she starts putting different drink and food down, as she is wearing an apron.
You have a ripped up T-shirt.
Do I have a ripped up t-shirt I can make into an apron?
Fucking, where would you get a T-shirt?
I don't know. T-shirt store?
It's you know what? I will say you have a T-shirt that is 3 sizes way too small for a toddler that says "I'm Grandma's World" on it.
All right, I stuffed that into my belt.
I'm just kidding. You don't have that.
I pantomime it.
So you kind of pantomime like taking out an apron, as Trem is just watching this 7'11" foot tall giant blue man miming putting on an apron and getting to work. We'll segue over to the stables there with Donner and Alder amongst the horses. Some of these look like they are a little bit of workhorses. You kind of see where the rubbing of different kind of saddles and farm equipment are on them. And there's the occasional horse that has kind of this saddle markings. All of them are bareback at the moment, and they're all tied to the different posts, able to eat and relax a little bit. But it is it is getting a little piled up for the time being as you guys kind of settle yourselves out there.
How good are you with a shovel?
Pretty sure I can handle a shovel, no problem. Do you want to do the shit or do you want to do the trough?
I mean, by the amount of shit, I'm pretty sure we're both going to have to do shit, but I can start on the trough if you'd like, and then you can just shovel. It's up to you.
I mean, I was going to see if the horses had any information, but we got plenty of time for that. We're in some shit no matter what.
Yes, we are. Yes, that is it's literally all around us.
Yeah.
It was a funny. It was good. It was good. I see what you did there.
Thank you. I'm trying to be more personable. I'm not good at that. So
You're still not. Just so you know, I just want you to be aware.
I had a feeling that I'm still not good. It's just I was trying, and I appreciate that my effort has been received.
And I put my hand on his shoulder, and I'll go, okay, now shovel the shit.
You got it. I'll shit.
And
I
so
turn around
you
to
guys
the
are
trough.
kind of back to back. Aya's on the top of where the stable is, as she's kind of watching and keeping an eye out. Over the course of the next couple of hours, you're all able to kind of clean the stables, bust the tables as more people start to come in at the end of the workday. You see more and more farm hands as at this point, Dremel, you and Charlotte are like kind of like able to pick up on each other, and you're actually moving in a very good synchrony. Thok, you're just at this washing basin as just more and more plates are coming as you're just like just dunking these dishes in and scrubbing them clean and putting them on a plate. And you see Charlotte occasionally coming in. She's like, "Thank you," and puts you're kind of moving in unison after a few hours. And as the night starts to come, Trem goes, "Well, I think it's about you boys can relax for the time being." And you're all kind of like sitting up at the bar top. It's died down a little bit. I would say it's probably around maybe 9 p.m. This is a quiet town, so there's no like uproarious like we're gonna party all night, because people have to get up early for more work in the morning. And he has 4 kind of mugs in front of you, and you see him take out this pitcher. And Dremel, you're very familiar with this. This is the pitcher of ale he usually pours, and you all have 4 frothy glasses of ale as he goes, "It's on the house. Compliments of your hard work. You did a good job." As Doc's hands are super pruny.
I'm super excited.
Donner and Alder smell like horses, and Dremel has the smile of a good job. Hard work's done.
Before he walks, oops,
Go
go
ahead.
for it.
Doc.
Before he goes away, I'm gonna ask him like, "Hey, so question: the fighting pits, can anyone just sign up, like, or?"
Yeah, you want to sign up?
I mean, I don't want to sign up, but I may know a guy that might be swinging by tomorrow. Like,
It's tonight, Thomas.
And you see him, and he kind of like goes through the pad and he goes, "I mean, we got something next week. We can pencil your buddy in. What's his name?"
well, he might be actually able to make it tonight. Like, I don't know how far away he should be camping nearby. I can like go get him, and his name is Thok. It's a half orc.
Oh, you hear
Yeah.
that? Half orc. Just quick question here, Tommy. Your half orc friend, is he
Yeah.
looking for a wife?
Is he look? I don't
Because Charlotte
know.
there, she's good people. She's hard worker. She'll make a half orc or a full orc. We don't judge here. Make a orc very happy. She cooks real good.
Donna looks down
cleans
the
real
bar
good.
and goes, "Tommy, is your friend Thok looking for a wife? Is that happening right now? I thought you said something like that."
I don't know if he is. I think he might be taken. I'm not sure. Like, I can ask
Doesn't
him
sound
tonight
right.
though when I see him tonight.
You make sure you ask him. And Charlotte's like, "Oh my god, stop trying to marry me off to every half orc that comes in here." And he's like, "You need a good man, damn it." And you see, poof.
Well, he's a little bit more than half. Like, he's he's more orc than he is anything.
So he's like, what,
If you-
3/4 orc? She's
Yeah, like,
you know what he
1/4 orc.
means.
You can make one whole full goddamn orc and one full goddamn person. You hear that?
Oh.
You fit together.
You know
Now
what?
It's destiny. All right, Thok. I'm gonna write Thok's name down here.
Okay.
Possible future nephew-in-law.
I'll float the idea to him when I see him.
Yeah. Do please do.
Okay.
I'm gonna go fill up some glasses. You boys enjoy your time before your fight.
Yeah. What time does that start?
And he kind of looks over and he's like, "Hey, Ruben, do you know when the fight usually starts?" And you see this like his wiry beard as there's this bar patron Drummel that's been here since you've been there, and he's just been drinking like a fish. And he kind of looks up from his glass and he looks up at the ceiling. There's no hole in the ceiling, and he puts kind of like 3 fingers in front of his face and he goes, "About tree fingers?" And Trem's like, "That's when you're outside and you can see the sun, Ruben. What time is the fighting pit? You coordinate this shit." And Ruben goes, "I don't know, whenever I feel like it, I guess."
Perfect. We're gonna follow Ruben, the chicken fucker.
Continues to drink it. Oh, I don't know if he fucks the chickens, but Keegan is very convinced that he does something with them.
I believe he fucks.
And Ruben's
the
like,
chicken.
"Yeah, dragons eat them." So the 4 of you kind of conspire, and you have these mugs of ale in your hands as you put them up to your lips, and it's strong, a little bit warm like ale usually was back then, but it hits the fucking spot, especially after a long day of hours of doing tasks.
Is Trem still walking around?
Yeah, he's like walking about.
At some point while he walks by, I want to take a sip and go, tastes like annoying patron, and just make eye contact with him. But jovial.
Yeah, he stops and he smirks as he continues to walk and meander as he's filling up glasses and checking in with the folk.
I'll go over to chicken fucker.
You're gonna walk over to Chicken Fucker?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk over to Ruben, and Ruben's just kind of like drinking and muttering to himself, and he goes, "Hello, how can I help you?"
I'm sure there's a number of ways, but first,
Not really.
this fighting pit. I'm here to talk about that. Because
all
you're
right.
the coordinator, apparently.
Oh yeah, no, I'll organize the fight, and I'll organize the prizes, and I'll tell people where they're gonna fight.
Can you tell me where I'm going to fight?
Yeah, give me like 1 sec. And he looks over at another table. He goes, "Hey, Reggie." And Reggie goes, "Yeah." And he's like, "You want to fight this guy?" And Reggie kind of looks up and down her. He goes, "All right." He goes, "There you go. You find Reggie."
Okay. Is this? And I'll look at Reggie. Reggie, is this a fist fight? Are we fighting with weapons? Like, what is the?
Reggie kind of looks at you and he goes, I personally am not one to use a weapon because, I'm all thumbs, but usually I can put those thumbs into a fist and then hit someone real hard with them. So, yeah, I think fist fight. We usually
Fist
do like
fight.
kind of like fist fight, wrestling. It's honestly, it's all kind of in good fun. We all kind of pool our money together, and whoever beats everyone basically wins the pot.
Understood. Okay. Happy to be seeing you later, Reggie. Good luck, just not against me. You're
Yeah,
a good
no,
man,
that's fair.
probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, it's fine. He fucks chickens, so everybody's got their own thing, I guess.
And Ruben's like, you can start that rumor, but it's definitely a dragon that's picking them off and eating them. I seen it.
Whatever you say, chicken fucker.
Well. And he kind of just looks off as he has this mug in his hand, and he goes, as he makes eye contact with you, as you're awkwardly staring at this man, calling him chicken fucker.
Have you come back to sit down yet?
Yeah. I linger just for a couple seconds.
And he makes unbroken eye contact with you as he takes the longest slurp of ale in White Willow Plaza history.
I nod my head and I head back over to the group.
And he winks and nods as continues to drink.
As Donner sits down, I say kind of under my breath, "Man, why are you being so mean to the chicken fucker?"
I'm not being mean. I'm just being poignant.
Like, well, okay. Well, maybe the chickens consent.
You think he speaks chicken and asks permission?
How else would you fuck a chicken?
Aggressively? Is this a riddle? I don't understand.
Donner, get your mind out of the gutter.
Justin dying right now.
Is Charlotte
alive.
is Charlotte walking around?
Yeah, she's meandering about. Why?
Because I was gonna grab a glass, pour a little bit, and then pass it off to Charlotte, just as like a camaraderie thing.
And she takes it from you and she goes, "Oh, thanks, Dremel." And she kind of cheers her glass with you as she kind of sits next to you in one of the bar stools. And you see her and she goes, well, I should rest a little bit. And you see her and she kind of kicks her feet a little bit as she's on the bar stool. So, where are you guys from?
Oh boy, that's a big question.
It's a long story. I don't think we have the time to be able to get into it.
Not from
All
here.
I figured that.
We're on a journey trying to get our buddy Thok married.
Well, I mean, Doc seems like a nice fella and all, but, you know, I like to get to know him before I get married to him. And you see Trem, like, across the bar. You hear him, like,
He's kind of an asshole.
you know,
It's kind of dumb too.
most men are assholes.
Not super smart.
Yeah,
No,
but-
he's real dumb.
Hey, he's like the strong, silent type, right?
I mean, if
Sure.
you're into that.
How do you
I mean-
feel about religion?
Not even the first date, man.
I'm just saying.
Look, he's a huge Bible thumper. Like, he's such an asshole. Like, he tries to convert you. Like, trust. Like,
Go ahead and roll a deception check. You're bad, buddy.
Where the hell is my this? Oh, good. That's a great modifier. Stay in the tray, bitch. Good. 7.
She kind of narrows her eyes and she goes, "It's all right. I don't want to marry him. You're okay. You don't have to keep making things up about him."
No, I'm just saying he's kind of a dick.
All right.
I mean, he's
Duly
definitely
noted.
kind of a dick. I agree with that statement.
Well, how'd our tips
Makes
go
your brain
tonight?
hurt sometimes.
I'm sorry. What was that, Dremel?
I said, did we make out with any tips tonight?
She kind of looks and she goes, "Yeah, we got a little bit. I'm more than happy to share with you." And she gives you about like 6 copper pieces.
Thank you kindly.
Well, I better get back to work. And you see her and she just pounds this ale as she gets back up and she goes, "More drunks to serve." And you see her and she kind of drags off. You have a great night, guys. She's
You too.
Night.
All right, Charlotte.
so. What are we doing before trying to get to the fight?
Kind of limbering up. I'm in the bar. And just...
Okay.
I look at Donner, and I'm like, who do you think will win? I mean, you might have won the battle, but I think I'll win this one.
Do you think you're going to win this one?
Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen. It's just no funny business. So we're just going to punch each other in the face until somebody falls down.
We'll see what happens. May the best man win, and I pat you on the back. And as I pat you on the back, I'm gonna try to discreetly cast Death Ward on you.
Ooh.
I don't know if
Okay.
How that? Well, obviously, I wouldn't be doing this around anyone, so I guess I would wait till it's only either the four of us or just me and Donner, whichever one of the two.
Or walking to the fireplace. The peat.
I mean, if you're starting to, so you're eventually after a while, Ruben eventually starts to sway and move as you start making your way through the town square. Alder, I'll say this while you're all kind of moving, you do see the house that Trem was talking about where Grace lives in, and you do see the lights are on, and you do actually see a younger woman, I would say maybe mid to late 20s, early 30s. She has this kind of round cherub face. Looks a little bit gruffer as far as like she's a little something in her eyes. She seems a little hardened. She has these different kind of like freckles that kind of dot around under her from the bridge of her nose to under her eyes, and she has this kind of brown reddish hair kind of pulled up into a messy bun as she's kind of watching from the fence post of her porch as she watches all of you kind of walk and move, and obviously she zeroes in on your group as she's staring at the giant 7-Eleven cow person as the four of you are moving through town.
I'm gonna acknowledge that she's paying attention to us and obviously pick up on the location. So I'd like to go up to and talk to her and be like, pardon my intrusion, but are you Grace?
And I'll say this as you guys kind of walk, Alder kind of branches to the side as Aya kind of lands on the porch, and she looks at you and she goes, yeah, my name is Grace. I'm sorry, I don't think we've met each other yet.
Well, my name is Alder. Obviously, you could tell that I'm not from here. None of us are from here. We kind of stick out like a sore thumb. But I saw your note on the bulletin board about seeking help. What happened?
So you came to laugh at the crazy woman. So she kind of smirks as she kind of sits down in her chair, and you see that she kind of has these wide, like kind of almost kind of golden hazel brown eyes as she sits down, and she kind of takes a swig from this goblet.
Before as she says that, you're here to talk to a crazy person, I'm gonna go and call over Aya to land on my shoulder and be like, my best friend's a bird. There's nothing you can do that's gonna make me think you're crazy.
And you see her, and she genuinely smiles and laughs as she goes, please. And she gestures, and there's like another little like seating area. It looks like this is a place where she usually comes out and sits. It's a very tiny little kind of end table with two little chairs. And she sits at one far end, and it looks like this is a chair that's been worn and weathered. You kind of see on the floorboards where it's shifted and whatnot as you kind of sit down. And she goes, so I'm guessing it's the coin. I do have to be up front. I mean, it's not much. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, I'm curious as to how much it is, but that's not what's driving this conversation. I legitimately have no coin to my name at all. So
she kind of smirks. She goes, my wife and my daughter, they were supposed to go to Sungulf to get some kind of food, some fruit material. I don't even remember. My wife Rosalie, she likes to craft and make things, and she said that there was a specific piece in Sungulf, and I hadn't heard from her. She was supposed to be gone for about a week, and she still hasn't come back.
You said so. She's been. The two of them have only been gone for about a week as of right now.
They were supposed to be gone for a week. They've been gone for.
Heads up, Josh. Josh just lost video for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, guys, keep going. I'm gonna work on it. Audio's fine.
she kind of goes, I put the ad out about, they've been gone for 3 weeks in the ad. I just stopped updating it. They've been gone for almost a month. I'm worried, but I'm too afraid to go out. I've never left this town.
Is that the only reason that you're afraid? Is that you've just never been out of here?
No, it's just I don't know what's out there. I don't know what's in Sun Gulf. I mean, I've heard good things, but lately more and more people have been traveling into Sun Gulf and then just not leaving Sun Gulf. So it's either the greatest fucking town that my wife and kid decided to stay there, or something bad happened to them. And she kind of chuckles as you kind of see like the reds of the apples of her cheeks, as she seems to be a little tipsy from drinking, teeth a little stained from the wine that she's drinking.
So you said Rosalie's your wife. What's the name of your daughter?
Harley. She's 4.
Do you know about how far out Sun Gulf is?
By foot, about a week. Horse, probably about a day or two. At least that's what I hear the travelers say.
Okay. So, by the sounds of it, it seems like the best bet may be that they actually made it there, and there's just something that's keeping them from coming back.
And she smiles and she goes, I don't know. I'm worried about her. Oh, it's fuck. I'm fucking babbling and shit. And she kind of pours a glass of wine for you as she offers it over to you as she pours herself another one. I'm sorry, sir. What was your name?
Alder.
Well, Alder, like I said, it's not much, but they mean the world to me.
I'll definitely keep an eye out. Is there any other information about them that you think might be helpful? Like, what were they going to buy? You just said it was like some kind of material.
Yeah, it was some kind of some art project they were working on. They were trying to, I forgot what they were making. It was either some kind of scrap book or honestly, I'm not entirely sure because I'm not the artsy one. I fucking work. I wake up and I work around town and I work in the fields and I come home and she kind of just trails off and she goes, I don't know if it's like some people are maybe unsettled by us. I mean, we've had comments before, but I don't know if it's anything that's like ill intended. I don't want to think like that, but some people don't understand this. She kind of looks at you. Yeah, about the payment. It's about 100 silver. We've been saving it up for Harley if she wanted to go away or higher learning than White Willow Plaza. But I can give you about half now for your trouble. If you could try to find them and bring them back as soon as you can, I'd greatly appreciate it. Give you the other half.
Well, that would definitely be helpful to try and get us on our way. Absolutely, I'd be happy to try and find them, and obviously the rest of my group is definitely will be on board to try and bring them back for you.
And she kind of smirks and she goes, well, you have to understand I'm a little hesitant, only because you seem like an upstanding guy, Alder, but it is 50 silver, and that goes a long way here. I need to have some kind of way of knowing you're coming back. If you can come back. Like I said, I don't know what's at Sun Gulf, but keeping you from running off and going off into the sunset, you know?
No, I understand. All a man really has is his word. That's all that he can really be trusted on. Um, Unfortunately, I don't have much. Let me take a look here.
And as you kind of look, she kind of peers off, and you're kind of rummaging through your bags, and occasionally you see, just kind of out of the corner of your eye, just different things that are on this porch, like different potted plants that look like they are severely wilting and dying. It doesn't look like she's taking care of them. And you see the occasional toy made out of wood or straw or different kind of dolls that are laid out that her daughter presumably had played with and put around, and maybe she didn't have the heart to pick up yet. As you kind of hear this, she's watching you intently as she kind of keeps sipping at her drink.
Well, all I can I don't really have anything that I could leave with you. I could give her my old just wood staff to hold on to as collateral, valued at probably about 5 gold pieces.
And she looks at it and I mean, I can hold on to this for you if you want.
That way, I mean, it's at least some bit of collateral that I can give to you, so that way you know that I'll come back for it.
And she kind of looks at you and she kind of gets up. I'll be right back. As the three of you kind of eventually at some point notice that Alder is gone, and you see that he is at this house of this kind of woman. As the three of you are kind of like arms up, like, what's going on? Fight. But it takes you a few minutes as you wait for Alder to kind of track back, and Grace kind of comes back out, and she has this very tiny little kind of coin satchel, and she goes, before she puts it in your hand, there's that hesitancy. And she goes, please come back.
I will.
Find him. And,
I mean, if you're really uncomfortable with this, you don't have to give me the money beforehand. Obviously, it would be helpful, but no one's forcing you to do that. You're not with me?
I thought you said that you walked back over to us.
No. You guys stopped as he's still over there.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason, Dremmel's heart feels like it hurts for some reason as he's kind of keeled over. And she goes, Trem has some horses. Figure out how much they are, and how about this? I'll pay for the horses.
That would be helpful. That's a deal to me. And then I'll obviously pull my staff back, and we'll get on our way tomorrow.
And you kind of put on your hand, and she looks at you, and she puts the goblet down, and she just goes in for a hug. And she kind of puts her cheek on your shoulder as she goes, thank you. Breaks off from you, and she goes, I'm gonna do you guys like breakfast? I can make breakfast for you and your friends. Before you leave, we can kind of plan it out.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And she smiles and she goes, well, have fun.
Yeah, we're gonna try and make some money tonight by watching the two bigger ones beat the crap out of each other. So
she kind of smiles and she goes, not a lot of competition here. I mean, occasionally you get some travelers, but they're simple folk. So I'm gonna go easy on them. As she kind of
do our best.
Puts as she breaks away, she kind of pats you on the chest as she sits back down and drinks and kind of peers out as you start to slowly walk up to the rest of the group.
Well, I got us a job for the morning.
Was that
Is that where you were?
Yeah, that's Grace, the one who had the help wanted sign for her wife and daughter. 100 silver pieces if we could find them, and she'll help us out by paying Trim for some horses, so that way we can travel to make it a little bit faster. So,
I'll take that speed.
yeah. She said they're at Sun Gulf, which is about a week by foot, but probably only a day or two by horse. So that's where they went. We can go find them at the Sun Gulf and then hopefully bring them back. And Thok, maybe try and get acquainted with her so that way we can let her know that if we find them, you can communicate with her by sending messages. Especially since everyone likes to say that she's the town crazy person. We obviously don't want to put voices in her head without warning, so.
Well, could we see her from where we were?
Yeah, you can see her. She's
Alright.
like I said, she's a younger looking lady. Or she looks like she's in her late 20s, really early 30s. Like I said, pretty brown kind of cherub face.
Okay.
As she's kind of sitting on her porch.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And you said that we're meeting with her tomorrow morning?
Yeah, she offered to make us breakfast before we get on the road.
Okay. Yeah, like obviously we'll get to know her, so I mean I can pretty much cast sending now since I've seen her. But you're right, it'd be better to get acquainted and not have her startled with voices in her head.
Yeah, I think that would probably be for the best. But, I mean, 100 silver pieces is quite a bit more than we'd be able to get from just working right now. Or clearly, with these fight pits saying maybe 10 silver pieces or possibly just drinks, we're going to need more work than that. So I don't know what that sound is.
I don't know what that sound is either.
What sound?
It just went away. All right.
Okay.
Yay.
Sorry if you guys heard that at home, but if Josh didn't hear it, then maybe he didn't. Yay.
I heard it.
Yeah.
Are we on our way to the pit still?
Yeah, I'll say this conversation is happening while you guys are kind of walking back again. And weird. Okay.
What's going on?
Still doing that crackling. It sounds like someone's like rustling plastic over the mic.
Oh. Stop.
With someone.
Yes.
Okay.
Abruptly.
How about this? We'll end it there as you guys are kind of making your ways to the fight pit as we get ready for Townie Beatdown current year.
Hey.
Beat down.
Hey. Cool. Yeah, not sure. I didn't hear any audio, so I'm guessing it's coming from me, but I'm not sure how.
Hey. As long as it's coming from you and it doesn't affect anyone. But
Pat, you hear it too?
Yeah, I did hear it, yes.
Okay.
Well, guys, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube page. We're almost to 100. I keep saying that in hopes that it's actually true. It's not really that true. Favorite here. Share with your friends. We're getting real close to 50 to be able to do more exciting things with our Twitch-ness. Josh?
All right. So a big old thank you to Atten, Commander Root, Dapper Dons, Dong 872811706. I hope that's not a phone number. No, that's short by one. Gandalf the Babe, Windsock, and my mom.
Aww. Hi,
Aw.
Mom.
Made it all the way through. Woohoo!
you did it.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. We'll be back here next week. Have a good week, everybody.
Yeah.
So long.
Bye.
Farewell.
Farewell.